Welcome curious souls, magically different males. I'm Katie and today we're taking you on a tour of Disney's Newport Bay Club Hotel. This is one of the hotels on site Disneyland Paris. This is one of the moderate hotels, just the more expensive out of the two. It's situated on Lake Disney, kind of opposite Hotel New York. Now, if you watched our previous hotel tours, which we've done Santa Fe and Cheyenne, and I'll pop a link to those in the description if you haven't seen them before, Newport Bay is a rather different hotel because whereas those had all the guest rooms in separate buildings, this is essentially all one big building. So we're going to be showing you some of the main public areas of the hotels. Now, a lot of the upstairs floors, so say from the third floor up, is essentially all guest rooms. Just know that the corridors can be very confusing. They all look exactly the same. So make a good note of where your guest room is. And there are maps, so it's actually showing the evacuation routes, but they do have the room numbers on it. So use them to help find your room as well, particularly the first time you go to the room. But yeah. So this is the outside of it. We're on the car park inside of the hotel at the moment. Also, just to note that you see behind us a tent. That is security to get in and out of the hotel. We're not going to film us going through security because obviously we're not really big a fan of that, so we won't be doing that. But just so you know, when you come here on foot, so if you get dropped off in your car, you will need to go through security to get into the hotel building. Also to note out here at the front of the hotel, so the car parking sign, if on what is on my right at the moment, but be the left as you actually look at the hotel building, is the bus stop for the shuttle buses. These run to and from the parks. What they do is they drop you off at the train station, so you'll be dropped off the bus stops there and then you just got to go through security to get into the park that way. Thinking about the shuttle buses, for all the hotels, they can get kind of overwhelmed at park opening, but very particularly at park close, so at the end of the evening. Now, Newport Bay is about a 10-minute walk-ish from the park, so if you're able to do the walk, we'd recommend doing that as opposed to trying to get the shuttle buses, but they are there as an amenity if you need them. So this is the porte clocher, as it's known, or the porch of the hotel. So this is if you're getting dropped off by a ride share service, this is where it's going to bring you. I'm just going to walk a little bit down towards the shuttle buses, just to show where they are. Okay, yep, so this is, I'm not going to get closer because I don't want people to think I'm trying to push in their queue for the bus, but this is the shuttle bus. It should be noted that as well as the shuttle buses to the parks here, if you get the Magical Express shuttle from the airport, it will also drop you over here. Also to note that this kind of building with a wall on top of it, here is actually the convention centre, and I'll show the way into that from the inside of the hotel as well. Newport Bay is the big convention centre on site Disneyland Paris, so it is possible you might find a few business folks around during your stay. We have apparently had a couple of conventions on, and I'll be honest, I can't say I've even noticed the fact it's been there. But yeah, just as a heads up, you might find a few businessy folks going around when you're here. Okay, so we just came through security, and that down there is the luggage claim desk, so that's where you'll take your luggage. Luggage is for there if you just want to store it for the day, so you've got a day in the park so you can come back here and collect it later. Your other option is if you get in the Disney Express service, this is where you'll drop your luggage, which will then be transported to the train station for you to pick up. That is actually one of our favourite of the Disneyland Paris package add-ons you can get, particularly if you're coming by train. We think it's a really good service to help you maximise the most of your time in the parks. Okay, well, that's that. So let's go in to Newport Bay Club. Okay, so here's where you enter. You can't enter in the middle of the building. I'm going to show what's to the right first in here. Now, I should say we're here kind of close-ish to checkout time, hence it's going to be rather busy down here. Although, you don't actually have to check out of your Disney hotel. Everything's done automatically and you get to keep your keys and souvenir. But this is the arrivals, departures desks. I mean, down that far end you can see concierge. Go. Also, around this corner, there's no one there at the moment, that's where the Disney characters meet. You normally get a selection of Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Daisy and nautical outfits going on in this hotel. And it's worth noting actually, Newport Bay is the only one of the hotels that have rooms themed to the Fab 5 characters. So if you've got a big Mickey and Minnie fan going on, Now these here at the back are the steps down that take you to the restaurants and to the theme parks if you're going to walk it. So we'll go down to those as we kind of finish the internal bits of the tour. Now, you've probably noticed that stairs. There is a lift that literally just does that little run of up and down from those stairs to the main lobby. And you can find that here. I will say, it is just one lift for what is a very big hotel. So it can get extremely busy. This gives you an idea of the hotel layout. You can see we're kind of in the central building at the moment, and there's an east wing and a west wing. From the point of view of proximity to the park, the best place to be is really as central as you can get. I would not recommend, if you could avoid it, being in the east wing, because then you've got by far the furthest distance to walk to anywhere. But there you go, and you can see it. So this is a very, very big building. It has 8 floors, and there's a lot of rooms between that. So, if we continue past main reception on my right, we've got information screen. And then here we have the Newport Bay gift shop. Newport Bay Boutique here. So there's the gift shop. Going on. It says kind of a range of souvenirs and sundries and things like that. So we do have in the gift shop a Pandora range, which is quite nice. If you're a jewelry fiend like I am. And if you're not, why not? Actually, that's fair, you don't have to be a jewelry fiend. I think I was a magpie in a past life, we'll be honest. So we have a range of little mermaid things there. And you do tend to get a few like nautically themed souvenirs in this shop. You see there's a range of general DLP merch in here as well. This is also down this end. If you've got the photo pass and want to look at your photos, this is the desk where you'll be able to do that. And you can see you can buy like frames and stuff. There's no one there at the moment because obviously parks have only just opened, so no one's actually got photos yet. Get a range of books and games. I will say that pretty much all the books and the games are going to be in French, so if you don't speak French, it's probably less helpful to you. But they're there. The puzzles you can certainly do. And the one there at Disney Books, which is down there, that's definitely in English. And I believe the Monopoly is bilingual. And for some reason there is a range of Frozen merch in here. And there's some Frozen themed stuff on the breakfast buffet as well. I'm not entirely sure why, if I'm perfectly honest with you, but why not? Everyone likes Frozen. Incidentally, this Mickey with the wheel is actually a recreation of a famous statue that lives on the northeast coast of the US. And it should be said that Newport Bay is themed to kind of northeast coastal resorts, a New England-esque kind of area in the States. If you're a Walt Disney World person, think of Newport Bay as kind of like Yacht Club light. So, because it's a bit like the Yacht Club resort when it's theming, but it's a bit less deluxe than a Yacht Club. You do have a range of Newport Bay specific souvenirs. There's also, this includes like room fragrance and a candle, which smells of the sea, which is quite nice. Again, goes in with the nautical theme quite well. Now, it should be said, we are here at the very beginning of October. I'm filming this, and there is already in here a vast array of Christmas stuff. Ooh, Christmas lounge light, that's new, that wasn't here before. So, if you're looking for a Christmas lounge light this year, folks, I've got some in here in Newport Bay. No Halloween merch in here, though, I will say, and we are here for Halloween season, so worth noting. If you're here for your Halloween-y fun, you won't find any merch for it in the gift shop. So over here we have more Christmas stuff. I think this very cute Christmas stitch bag, which is kind of epic in the same way. You can get a few little pieces of luggage in here, so when you bought too many souvenirs and don't know how you're going to get them home, you have options. As you'd expect, they're not going to be the cheapest bits of luggage you've ever bought in your entire life. But they are here and they are an option. They also stock in here this kind of mini nautical range, which makes sense for the theme of the hotel being very nautical, and there's includes this rain jacket, so that's quite nice. We have an array of Christmas cuddlies going on under the window. Like I said, they're really big on Christmas in this shop, but don't have any Halloween. which is kind of weird if you ask me, but hey ho. They also have quite a lot of Stitch merch, and particularly this kind of Hawaii range, which also does include a Loungefly bag. It's down there, there it is, and a wallet, and it's very cute. Oh, Christmas wreath. That's fun. So yeah, even more Christmas stuff on this side. Now we're coming around to your own Newport Bay bathrobe. Now, point of clarification on this. We do not get bathrobes in the standing room at Newport Bay. We definitely don't have one in our room, but I believe you do get them in the Compass Club, which I'll talk about in just a second. But, oh, the camera is not enjoying the lights of these display booths, but anyway, there you go, more Stitch merch. And this is more Newport Bay specific stuff. So same stuff we saw on the other stand, but it's also got this little like Newport Bay makeup clutch bag and some bits of clothing. So there's a polo shirt and kind of a long sleeve rugby shirt almost style. So yeah, so we've got a range of stuff there. More Loungeflies. The one in the middle is for displaying your pins on, so if you're a pin collector and looking for a way to display them, this is a good way to do it. And I should note that it is covered in plastic. You see there's the free pin you get with the bag there. I'm stroking right over it. So it does mean that if your pins come unstuck, they will still stay in your bag, which is a good thing, because sadly it isn't that difficult to take lose your pins. Have some ears and Mickey Mouse gloves, because every home must have them, and a range of kind of like generic tableware and some sweeties. Now, one thing I will say about the Disneyland Paris resort gift shops in general is that you're not going to find a lot in the way of sundries like medicine and anything like that. For medicines, it's because they're not legally allowed to sell them. Medicines have to be bought at a pharmacy in France. But also, even if you're used to kind of like the sundry displays in, say, like again, the Walt Disney World resorts, hotels, you're not going to find that level of stuff in these resort gift shops. So if you think of something you might need, just bring it with you. Even if you could buy it in here, if you bring it with you anyway, it's going to be a blinking sight cheaper than it would be if you were buying it on site. More decorations over there. Bonjour. And on this side we have fridge magnets and a drinks fridge, which is very handy to have for the resort. And then here we have shoulder pails, which are very, very popular over here in DLP. I think maybe more so than they are in the US parks. The thing I will say with the shoulder pails is that they can fall off. So if you really, really want to sport them around the parks, maybe consider getting like a safety pin or something so you can clip it to your shirt as well, just as kind of like an extra level of defence. And then we have some cute mugs and drinking bottles around here. I do rather like the bit one, I have to say. She's my favourite princess. But yeah, so that's kind of it for Newport Bay. You can see just behind there is the cashier. I'm not going to go too close because they're doing their job. I don't want to annoy them. And there are baskets as well, so if you do want to buy a lot of stuff in this shop, you can grab yourself a basket to make it easier to carry. But yeah, so that's the gift shop. Okay, just to also say we have some Newport Bay specific pins on this pin wall, as well as an array of different pins you can get, including Dale just as the Queen of Hearts, because why the heck not? And a surprisingly number of pins of Lotso. Serious question to anyone out there who does this. Why do people buy the Lotso merch? I don't get it. My guy's really horrible. I mean, spoiler alert for Toy Story 3, I guess, but that film has been out a very long time, so if you haven't watched it by now, what are you doing? But yeah, he was literally going to let all the main characters burn to death and everyone wears his merch because it's really cute. I don't get it. Anyway, thank you for coming to Katie's TED Talk about the inexplicable nature of Lotso merch. Right, if we keep going down this way, so we still got the gift shop on our left, and on the right is reception and concierge. Again, not going to get too close to that because there's people trying to do what they want to do. Now, down here on the left is the captain's corner. I'm not going to film much more than this because obviously if it's got little ones in it, I don't want to film some little ones. But there you go. That's there. That is like a little kids club that you can go and pop your kids into. And it looks very cute in there, I have to say. So yes, there's like a little TV and bean bags and stuff like that. Hiya. And then this is one of the lift banks. Now there are only two main lift banks here at Newport Bay. The thing to know about this lift bank is that there is an extra random one on the end wall, which has got a separate button. So worth noting because most people seem to forget it exists, to be perfectly honest. But then, yeah, you've got lifts. Now, if you go further down here, this is going into guest rooms. But what you do access down here is the pool. So we're going to start walking that way now. Just to say, if you want to walk down to the main floor, pool from the main floor, that's the stairs to do it there. And these are some lobby toilets. I'm not going to film people coming out of the toilet because that's a bit strange. Right, so we're going to get the lift down to where the pool is. Okay, so this is one of the lifts. This is actually that random lift we showed. Got a big mirror. Hello me. Hello Ken, who's also in the reflection, is pretending he isn't. There he goes. And there's two sets of buttons. Okay. Bonjour. Bonjour. Okay, so I believe we're heading this way. So as you come out of that lift, we're heading down towards where the pool is now. Now, I don't know how close we're going to go to get to the pool because it is closed when we are here. Do bear in mind that all the pools at all the Disney resorts will close annually for a refurbishment. Okay, now this is the fitness centre. So if you're one of those weird people who don't get enough exercise walking around the theme parks, I mean, who are you? But this is where you come. I'm not going to walk in there with a camera because there might be some poor person working out and they don't need me whacking a camera in their face, so I'm not going to do that. Okay. Oh, still fitness centre. Okay. As maybe you can tell, we obviously haven't been out here before, so we don't really know where we're going anywhere. We're going past the fitness centre and we're going to have to go left for the pool. Now, I'm trying to be mindful down here because these are people's guest rooms. So I don't really want to catch anyone coming out the rooms. And as a side note, if you are trying to film or create content, you're inevitably going to get people in the background of some of your stuff. But if you can avoid it as much as possible, then you can. There you go. Ah, yeah, so here is the pool. It's called the Nantucket pool. You can see the general regulations for it there. Now, as I say, I can't really show you much of it at the moment because it is closed for its annual downtime. But yes, please know that each of the pools will go down annually. And that's the changing room. I'm not going to film in there. Reception, and then you would go into the pool there. But yeah, obviously not open right now, so we're not going to be annoying like that. If you're a really keen swimmer, then and you want to be near the pool, and it is open when you're here, then I would maybe ask see if you can request a room that's on the first floor in the east wing. It will probably be the closest you can possibly get to it. I mean, room 1303 is going to be your ultimate handy room for the swimming pool. We can see the daily, you can see at any given time there could be 247 people in the pool, and throughout the course of the day it can have 3,500. Actually, I should say that the pool here is outside and inside, so you can do that. Obviously, I should imagine that the outside pool isn't very popular in the winter, but the inside one is there for year round if you want. Now, what would normally happen when the pool is closed at your resort is that you'll be able to use the pools at the other resorts. Normally the resorts that are not level above you. So for this pool closure, I would guess that you can probably use the room of Port Sequoia, possibly New York, but you're definitely not going to use the pool at the Disneyland Hotel. So yeah, just bear that in mind. And now we're heading back towards the lift. Here, randomly on the first floor, is this collection of teapots and cups. It says private collection on it. No idea why it's here, but it's kind of cool. Okay, and this is another exit out. So if you are on the first floor, I need to get out the front of the hotel, so it's probably going to be your quickest way to do it, I should be. If you are planning to use this door, note that you need to use this to open it. Please don't not try and just force it open. I guess this is because it's a fire door, and if you force it open, you might set off all the alarms, which is no fun, and everyone else in the hotel will really hate you. But yeah, so we're going to head up now back to the lobby level and show what's on the other side of the lobby from the main entrance. Okay, just to say we're now back in the main lobby. I'll get a bit of a shot of it now. This painting here with the lighthouse, so in front of this the characters will be when they're doing the meet and greets. If you check with reception, they'll be able to tell you the times. It tends to be afternoon and evenings here from what I've seen. Okay, so we're back in the main entrance here. Yes, our main entrance. And on this side, so the left, if it was coming in from the main doors, is the Compass Club. Now the Compass Club is the club level rooms here. So for that you get nicer rooms, you get more amenities for it. And you also get your own lounge where you can get free breakfast and included like afternoon bites as well and drinks, which is quite nice. Now to get to that lounge, what you need to do is go down this set of doors, which is going to be to the left as you come into main reception, past where the Campus Club Lounge is. So there we go. We come down here. On this side, there's about a seat bed for the windows. I say it's the middle of the morning, so this is not opening right now. This is the Captain's Quarter, which is the bar. There we go, so you get an idea of the prices there. This is where you head in. So if you fancy having a beverage, this is where you come. And you go. They do have, this is the menu. It's pretty vast actually. The Malaloa cocktail sounds quite nice. Or to do pina colada, that's right on my alley. But yeah, there you go. So there's the alcoholic drinks there in the Captain's Quarters. So that is the general bar that's open to everybody. It is on the other side that you have the Compass Club Lounge. Now the cast members are trying to do their job, so I'm not going to focus on them too closely. But that is where you will go if you're part of the Compass Club for your breakfast and for your afternoon teas and stuff. There's quite cool boat theming going on there here. There you go. So then back the way we're looking back to reception. But yeah, there goes the Compass Club Lounge there. Like I said, they're doing their breakfast serving at the moment, so I'm not going to annoy the cast members or the poor nice people who are in it. Now, further down this corridor, here on the left, we've still got the Captain Quarters bar going on. It's pretty big, actually. I think it's taking quite a long way, this bar. But there you go. I'd say you'd get some really nice views of the of Lake Disney from it, but they've blocked off the bottom of a lot of the windows on this side. So from this bit, no, you won't. You'll get a window of some frosting. You get a view of some frosting from your seat, but in the middle of the lounge, you could get some nice views. Then we've got some cottage artwork. Now this is the other set of lifts for the hotel. Like I said, there's only two main set of lifts, and this is the other one. There's only 4 lifts here, and that's not the random extra one that we had going down the other end. Having said that, even though there's only the few sets of lifts going on, we've never really had to wait too long for a lift when we've been here. The only thing I will say is we haven't done it directly after park close on this trip, so I'd be willing to bet them when everyone else is coming in, or when a shuttle bus will just come in, they get pretty popular. But obviously you should use whatever set of lifts is closest to your room. And then straight ahead, is the convention centre. But there we go, this is where you would come for a convention. I am assuming when there's not a convention on, this just gets closed up.
Because the last time I asked him could I go back, he said that
But yeah, that's the entrance to the convention centre. It is going to be quite big. That's the only thing we'll say. They do fit some big conventions, and that's part of the reason why this is such a big hotel, is because they were catering for convention traffic. But there you go, it kind of goes all the way down there. So when you're actually in the convention, for the meetings and stuff, you'll be over there. Really, you can just about see that building through that window. Plus, it's a very pretty tree, I have to say. So yeah, that's the convention centre. I think down here is just general milling around space, and if you need to step outside and take calls or whatever, that's the way you do it. Because I think there might be some convention space actually in New York, but this is certainly the biggest convention centre on site. It tends to be the busiest. I've always got mixed feelings about going to a convention at Disney, because A, I think it'd be cool, but B, I wouldn't want to be at the convention at all. I wouldn't want to be in Disney all the time. So I have a strong suspicion I'd be playing hooky from the conference perpetually. I don't think we're ever going to a convention at Disney, let's be fair. But yeah, so there you go, that's the way down to the convention centre. Like I said, because there is a convention on, we're not going to go any further. Because whatever it's about, they don't want us annoying them. Oh, in here they've got a Newport base with pin lanyard as well. I didn't see that in the gift shop. And there's actually a bit of view of that little clutch bag that was in the shop actually there as well. I'm not sure if it's meant to be like a clutch or like a makeup bag. You probably could have it either. Side note, I do love the fact that the candles are called bougie. I know that was how in English we use the word bougie is literally taken from that in the first place, but that's the original proper usage of it. But yeah, so there you go. So that's kind of the end of the second floor for Newport Bay. So what we'll do now, we'll go back to reception and head down to where the restaurants are. So yep, so now we're just walking back up past the Campus Club Lounge and the Captain's Quarters Bar. Ooh, that's worth noting, out here there is a water refill station for bottles. Good to know, there you go. That's what at the moment, but with the bar, you can just go sit in it in the mornings. But it doesn't become a bar until 1 p.m. So don't wander in there at 11 a.m. expecting alcohol, ain't going to happen. Although you could just go and buy some very expensive alcohol from the hotel gift shop if you wanted. Okay, so that's back to an entrance reception. Some general reception desk that way, Campus Club receptions that way. This is the stairs down to the restaurants and to the path of the park. Now, as I said, there's one lift that does just this little stretch. These stairs are watched over by the bust of the Stern Man. Don't know who he is. I'll have to look it up. If I look it up and I find out the answer, I'll pop it in on the screen here. But yep, stern dude with a big moustache watches over you as you go up and down. And you can see very nautically themed. Now they're quite wide steps, and they do go both sides, but they do get busy at peak times, so be mindful when you're coming up, maybe try and stick to one side of the stairs so you're not getting in the way of everyone else. Okay, it's got this very nice impressive lamp chandelier going on above it, and it's got some new nautically art going on, and then yeah, that's when we go down. And there's the stern dude again. But hey, this is what's at the bottom there. So you see, this actually isn't a very big area down there. Oh, mirror, hello me. Now, that way is the main door that leads out to the theme parks. And this way is the entrance of the two resort restaurants. So we have Yacht Club, or Yacht Lub, as the sign's saying, on the left, and Cape Cod on the right. Now for breakfast, they both serve exactly the same as breakfast buffet, and you will be sent to whatever one has got the least queue when you arrive, to be honest, so that's where you'll be heading for that. For dinner, Cape Cod is a buffet, It's got a heavy accent on seafood, but isn't anything on it by any stretch of imagination. We have done it, and we'll be putting a quick food review from Cape Cod on the channel, so please do look out for that. If it's already posted, I'll pop a link in. Yacht Club has a rather more, it's a a la carte table. Again, heavy accent on the seafood. It's quite fancy-esque food. We were going to eat here, but then discovered there wasn't much on the menu for either of us to eat, and neither of us are that picky eater really, so, you know, your mileage may vary on that, but there you go. This is the menu of Yacht Club during the day. You can add a cake to your meal. You can also add a cake to your meal if you're doing the buffet, to be fair. Also, just outside the breakfast area, so you can see Yacht Club's off down there to the left, and there's Cape Cod off to the right. And then here in the middle is a set of loos, which is handy, just outside the restaurants. There's one set of loos shared between the two restaurants, but neither of the restaurants are too huge actually. And then here we have a kind of like seating / buggy parking area. So, now we're very interesting, we've just noticed, we had breakfast in the Yacht Club this morning. It is now closed for breakfast. They're now sending literally everybody down there to Cape Cod. So, what you might end up being might also depend. That's because it's literally just past 11 o'clock, so breakfast service has technically closed. The breakfast here is served 6:30 to 11 a.m. just so you know. But here is where that little lift, the one that only did between the restaurants and the main reception floor, pops out here. Like I say, it's a shame there's only one lift. And it's very small. If you're able to do the stairs, even if it's with the help of like a mobility aid or something, and I should say when I'm filming this, you might notice in some of the clips I am working with a stick today because my back is a very grumpy person. So yeah, it may get very busy in there, but obviously if you've got a wheelchair, if you've got a buggy or a stroller, as if you're one of our American friends, then that is, you'll need to do that. In the mornings and evenings, we have seen quite long queues for that lift. It's a shame there's only one. But unfortunately, the main lift banks do not come down here. It is literally just this little lift. Yeah, it's not. Particularly if you're in a wheelchair, I feel for you if you're having to do this because it is not an ideal situation. I would recommend, if possible, when you're in a wheelchair, or it's not ideal if you want to do park opening or a magic hour, is maybe try and avoid this at peak time. It's also not ideal if you want to come back in the parks in the evening, but we'll see. Now, obviously, you do have the option of the shuttle buses to get to and from the parks. So that is, you could do that instead. I will say, though, a note for the shuttle buses, they do not take mobility scooters or electric wheelchairs. They only take kind of like your standard wheelchair. So if you've got a mobility scooter, you will not be able to do that. However, it's actually a pretty easy wheel to the park from here. So now we're just going out the main door. Thank you. Okay, and this is the view out onto Lake Disney from when you leave Newport Bay Club. Now, if we turn around and look back at the resort, as I did mention earlier, we're here for Halloween, hence the pumpkins. They won't be here normally. But these big windows you see out here to the left, that's the Yacht Club restaurant, and out here to the right is Cape Cod. And the big space kind of in the middle with all the lights you can see there, that's actually the bar. And then it's got that kind of sticking out bit as well up there too. Now, as you exit Newport Bay and come down here, normally if you wanted to head down to the theme parks, you would go to your left there. Now, you can probably see on that, there is a lot of barriers in the way and most people trying to do their job, so I won't film them too closely. The reason for that is at the moment, they are doing work on the new McDonald's building. It's going to be in Disney Village and down this side of the Sandwich as you come into the Disney Village that way, which means they can't have that path safely open. But normally, if you were going to come in, I kind of film it from out here. Oh, Panorama Magique is going up. Let me know if you've ever done that in the comments. I'm scared of heights, so I can't see me ever doing it, but I bet the views are really nice up there. But yeah, so that's normally where you go, and you normally have your own security kind of a bit past where the green wall is at the moment. But yeah, it is not open as we're filming, so you have to walk all the way around that way instead. past Sequoia Lodge, past Hotel New York. We reckon it adds about an extra half a kilometre to your walk, really, doing it that way. Which doesn't sound like much, but off the end of a long park day, it feels like a lot, believe me. But yeah, but you can see actually the view from out here. It's actually pretty gorgeous. We do have, that's Hotel New York, Heart of Marvel, sitting opposite, kind of where the balloon is, and where behind the trees, that is Disney Village, and obviously beyond that is the theme parks, and fairly visible amongst all the pine trees over on that side is Sequoia Lodge, which is the other moderate resort on site. You would have to go past Sequoia Lodge, then kind of turn right just before the Hotel New York and follow the path down to get to Santa Fe and Cheyenne, which is where the two valley resorts are. So yeah, we do have this rather nice sitting area out here. I'm wondering if this has been put in for people who smoke, because you're not allowed to smoke inside the hotel building. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, ducks. Disney ducks. Hi guys. They look very cute. Don't feed them. Oh, big fish. I bet that's not going to come out on camera. But yeah, however tempting it is, do not feed these guys. It's not good for them, and it makes them dependent on people. The fact that I'm stood here and they've all come over this way, and it makes you think that people do feed them, and you really shouldn't. But they're cute. Definitely come and say hello at least. But yeah, don't succumb to their cuteness. Don't give them your chips or anything like that, your popcorn. God, yeah, these fish are huge. Wow. Actually, you can see them much better now. There's also really massive fish in this lake, so there you go. Which, by the looks of it, have also been fed, because they're now making a beeline for where I'm standing. So yeah, don't feed them either. As well as the ducks. You really shouldn't be feeding the wildlife on site. It's not healthy. Disney do look after the wildlife on site pretty well, so they really don't need your popcorn and chips. Yeah, anyway. Let's try to avoid the cuteness. So yeah, I suspect that this little seating area might be here specifically for people who would like to smoke and would like to be sheltered when they smoke, which is fair enough. And there is an ashtray on top of one of the trash cans in the wall there, so I'm guessing that's it. And we see we do have the rather cool Mickey pumpkin going on at the moment, again, Halloween season. But yeah, there is the Halloween pumpkin. A little pelican on top is actually one part of the room decor. But yeah, that is Hotel Newport Bay. As I said, we only really covered 2 floors in this tour, and there are several more, as you can see. But yeah, they do all at the same, and it is people's rooms there, so we don't really just want to be walking what will be a very boring film of endless corridors all at the same, and annoy people by filming outside the rooms. And particularly at the moment, the time we're filming this is when housekeeping are at their busiest as well, so they don't need us. Annoying them either. One thing to note when housekeeping are doing the rounds with the rooms, they do often prop open the room doors while they're doing the cleaning. And if they're in the bathroom, or if they're right at the back of the room, the vacuum or something, they wouldn't hear someone nipping in and out of the rooms. So my advice is don't leave anything valuable out on display, just in case. I think the odds of it happening are very, very slim. But you never know. Bit of common sense with that one. Make sure anything valuable is tucked away out of sight. This way there's no opportunities for people to do what they shouldn't. Okay, so just as a little bit extra, here is the pool. Yep, so that it would be through there. That is the outside pool. As you can see at the moment, it's a lot of concrete because they're doing wet to it. And here, through this building, just about to see there, a little bit of glare from the windows, I'm afraid, but that is the indoor pool, or what it is normally. I'm not just about to make it out there. There is a chair in there to help lower people in and out the pool who are differently abled. So if you have mobility differences, you're not restricted from going into the pool. Oh, it's got a really cool boat facade away end. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah, so there is what would normally be the pool. As I say, down for refurbishment when we're here. If the pool is very important to you, check your booking, your time you're booking for, to make sure that the pool is not going to be down when you're here. They do sometimes only book in the refurbishments kind of, not last minute, but they sometimes only give a month or two's warning, which of course if you booked it 6 months to a year out, you wouldn't have known about at the time. If it's really important to you and it's not available, do talk to Disney. They're not going to refund you, let's be honest, but they might be able to help you move to another resort or do something like that instead. But yeah, that is the pool. And there we go, that's Newport Bay. There is also like a little secret path going to around a tree over there. It's quite nice. If I need a little bit of a break from the hustle and bustle, that would probably be quite a nice place to go. And there we go, that is Newport Bay. So that was our tour of Disney's Newport Bay Club. Now, we have already done a room tour for Newport Bay, and you can find that linked in the description down below, so do check that out. Talking about the rooms here, they are moderate hotel rooms. So you get standard in here 2 double beds. They are bigger beds than you get in Cheyenne and Santa Fe for sure here. That is something, and you might get, the rooms are bigger, you get a desk space in these rooms, a couple of sitting chairs, and you kind of standard bathroom, sink, storage areas, all that kind of stuff. And everything's got a really cute nautical theme. Our only kind of issue we've had really with the room is that the air conditioning, even though you've got it in your room, it's kind of still all centrally managed, so it doesn't really do anything. And we're here beginning of October, but the days have been getting up to like 20 odd degrees, which is kind of unusual for this time of year for here. So the room has been getting quite warm. That's our only thing we'd really say about the rooms. The only other thing I would also note is lack of plug points and USB points for charging as well. If you're, so for people like us who have a lot of devices we need to charge every evening, then that gets a little bit annoying. Definitely bring a charging hub for these rooms. For plugging in new devices, you're going to need it. Even if you've just got a few mobile phones in your family, you're going to need it. Bring a charging hub for these rooms. If you do need a charging hub, we'll recommend the one we use down below with an Amazon link. So do please go and give that a link if you do need to buy one. They're nice rooms and they do a job. Obviously, we have not been in the Compass Club rooms because that is the club level and it's a bit out of our price range as it stands. Hopefully we'll try it one day. But yeah, those rooms are a bit bigger and they're a bit bougier as well if you do go for the Compass Club level. So that's something to bear in mind here. But I hope you enjoyed this tour of Newport Bay Club. If you did, please do give this video a like, a subscribe, and ding the alert bells so you're notified when we post a new video. Do also please come and find us on our blog. We're at magicallydifferentmouse.com, and there you'll find our blogs. And if you subscribe, not only will you receive our blogs directly into your inbox, you'll get a free copy of our Magically Different overview of Disneyland Paris attraction accessibility, which you can also buy on the website for £3 if you prefer. Please also come and find us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Blue Sky, and we'll link all those for you down below. I'll also link down below our previous resort tours of Santa Fe and Cheyenne, the 2 valley resorts on site here at Disneyland Paris. If you watch those, you'll be able to see the difference between resorts that are spread out between multiple buildings and a resort like this when it's all one big building. It's going to be quite different. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all soon. Bye bye.